Oh my goodness. Take a look at that. Look at that, everyone. The Walt Disney World monorail passing Spaceship Earth and on its way to the EPCOT station, having just completed the EPCOT loop, or the loop around EPCOT before, as it comes from Magic Kingdom through EPCOT before settling back down in their monorail station here. It's the Sometimes Vlog. It's a vlog that happens sometimes, and just like this monorail took the loop of EPCOT before it splits, I am taking my last loop of EPCOT before I split tomorrow, getting on an airplane back to Los Angeles. I'm winging it to the coast, the other coast. Los Angeles International Airport shall be visited by me tomorrow, but right now, it's EPCOT. EPCOT, Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow, Walt Disney's vision for a city of the future. After Walt died, of course, nobody much wanted to build a city of the future. People always say this. People are always saying to me, isn't it a shame that Walt didn't live? Or isn't it a shame that the company betrayed Walt and didn't build Walt's city of the future? Because Walt had this was not what Walt had in mind. A theme park is not what Walt had in mind. But I always say, come on guys, put yourself in their shoes. Nobody wanted to build a utopian city without the genius mastermind Walt Disney himself. And plus, if Walt had put himself on the line and built a utopian city and it had failed, people could have forgiven Walt. If people had come after Walt and built a utopian city and it had failed, people would say, you ruined Walt's vision. So instead, they waited for a while, and they noodled on it, and they noodled on it, and they noodled on it, and they came up with this. EPCOT Center. Sort of a crystallized version of what it would mean to live in Walt Disney's futurism style, futuristic community thing, blah, blah, blah. It was a theme park that represented the ideas, the big ideas of Walt Disney and the future and technology and the humanity and the where we've come from and the why and the pitfalls and the possibilities and the perils and all the other things and the wonderful things that made up basically Walt's ideas for the vision of the future without having to commit themselves to an actual city. Because can you imagine if they had built a neighborhood here, like a city, a functioning city where people could vote and commit crimes and run through the streets? Wouldn't that, it would just, I don't think it would have worked. If you look at all the other utopian style communities and subdivisions and things that were built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, not many of them have come out well. But this, EPCOT Center, and now just EPCOT, the theme park version that pays tribute to Walt Disney's ideas for progress and for the future, is still alive and well. And this, Spaceship Earth, the symbol of EPCOT, is probably one of my most favorite things ever. You know, it's weird. When I first started coming here, doing the vlogs here, I didn't feel like there was a lot of vloggers or a lot of vlogging going on. A lot of people looked at me strange. This time, I don't know if you saw that in the background, there's a lot of people that are like, a vlog, hey, what's up? Pretty cool. Look at this EPCOT ball, this giant golf ball, Spaceship Earth. There's an attraction in there, and I actually got really good footage of it this time visiting EPCOT. You see how massive this thing is? We've looked at this before, but I can't help it. I'm taking my loop through EPCOT, and I wanted to bring you with me. But while I take my loop through EPCOT, and while I'm sad that I'm leaving, I decided to wear this, my new Disneyland shirt, paying tribute to the 80s and 90s at Disneyland. And yes, it's very windy. Anyway, I got really good footage for Random Land of Spaceship Earth. I am very excited to edit that down and see what comes of it. Sorry for the wind here. Underneath Spaceship Earth, underneath the EPCOT ball, or the giant golf ball, if you will, is very windy, always very windy. But on top of that, it's been super windy and freaking cold the last couple of days while I've been in Florida. The weather was really screwing with my ability to film. I had to put down the vlog like a hot potato and try and film all this crazy stuff and get all this stuff done. And I think I got at least 2 of the 3 things I was hoping for. I only planned on 1, hoped for 3, and hit 2 of my goals while I was here. So mostly, I think I did pretty well. Yesterday, well, I'll talk about yesterday in a second. Look at this. Speaking of the monorail, which I love so much, last time I was here with my son, we fell in love with the monorail, and I'm supposed to get this. Look at that. The Walt Disney World monorail playset. Normally, of course, they have these Spaceship Earth monorail toy accessories like this. Last time we came, they didn't have the monorails. They just had a whole bunch of track expansion packs, and so we didn't get one. And I promised that next time when they have monorails, I'll totally get you one. And he didn't forget. And I didn't forget. So at some point, I'm gonna have to get a monorail here. Now they're not cheap, but I made a promise. When you make a promise to a child, you always freaking keep it. You do your best, your darndest, your dangdest, your rootin' tootinest to keep that stinking promise, and you do it whether it costs you life, limb, even $100. But look at this, I can't decide between monorail blue or monorail orange. Now if they had red, I would probably go for red. If they had black, I'd super go for black. Of course, they also have that lime green one, a yellow one. They have like a pink or purpley looking one. I think pink is retired now. They have all these different color monorails. So I have to come back and get a monorail as part of my goals here before I leave. What I'm wondering is whether or not to throw in Spaceship Earth. This is more of just a model. The monorail apparently just passes underneath it. The old Spaceship Earth playsets, which they had last time we were here, but they didn't have the monorail train, so we didn't get it, was like a big ball, obviously, that opened up and it had like little miniature EPCOT things inside of it, like a test track thing and a mission space thing and all this different stuff, but we didn't get it. Look at that. Okay, so there's gateway gifts right here, where we just were looking at the monorails. It has this super cool retro, like 80s sign, orange and red lights in here at night. And look at the gift shop inside of the legs of this massive thing. Spaceship Earth is 198 feet tall at its tallest point. The ball itself is 180 feet. And then it sits on top and floats 18 feet above the ground. 18 feet is 3 of me. 18 feet is 3 of me, and I'm pretty tall, fairly tall guy, stacked on top of each other to reach the bottom, tippity bottom of that ball what am I talking so weird for? The tippity bottom? Tippity top maybe, but not tippity bottom. The bibbity bottom, the bibbity bobbity bottom of that would take 3 of me standing on top of each other to reach it. And then from there up, the height of this thing is another 180 feet. It's just short enough to not stick a red blinking light bulb on for airplanes. And that's why they did that on purpose, obviously. Pretty crazy. That is a pretty tall ball. Interestingly enough, I'm pretty sure it's only 169 feet around, so it's actually taller than it is wide. Taller than it is wide. I don't know if there was some kind of structural reason for that. I'm not sure I want to know, because it sounds like if there was, it would probably be a long and boring explanation. But that way it looks slimmer. They were getting ready for the 90s, you see. They were building this in the 80s and thinking, we gotta get ready for the 90s. We know everyone's gonna want that slim look in the future. I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. Spaceship Earth, a wonderful attraction inside. Like I said, windy, super cold. This is the first time I've ever been to Florida where I had to wear, like I had to layer on jackets, and I've been, so this morning, I have like these Under Armour style, like thermal things I wear under my pants because I'm a real big wuss. I have like no body fat whatsoever on my legs. Just, I get really cold. It's just like meat and muscle bone. Muscle bone, it's just muscle bone. So I put on the Under Armour, I got out of bed, I put on the Under Armour, and I stuck my feet in my shoes. And I was like, what the heck am I doing? So I pulled my feet back out of my shoes with no sock or anything. I put my socks on, then I stuck my foot back in one of the shoes. Why did I do that? I took it off, and then I put my pants on, and then I put my shoes on. It was weird. I don't know, maybe that sounds... Okay, now I'm disappointed with my own story. That story sounded so boring, but at the time I was like, what the heck am I doing? I'm sticking my foot in my shoe. I'm not ready for that yet. And then I would walk around the room in between doing all this stuff, and then I'd come back, put my foot back in my shoe, like, what am I doing? Have you ever done stuff like that? So that's where my head is at today, is I'm thinking about EPCOT, I'm thinking about Spaceship Earth here, and the electric umbrella where that weird trash can was from 5 Weird Things at EPCOT that we just did not too long ago, youtube.com/thebestIPoor. This right here is the center of Future World. There's a Communicore building over here and a Communicore building over here. Those house Innoventions, just like we had in California, where there's like, you know, product showcase and stuff. This Innoventions building now mostly houses character meet and greets. That one still has like products and like build the home of the future. See, people know what's going on now. They're like, the internet's in there. The internet's in there. I know it. This, the Fountain of Nations here. Beyond it is World Showcase with all the countries. Over there we have Mission Space. I did a vlog in Mission Space and actually filmed it on a ride through on this channel. So if you go back, you can find it. Look at the monorail back there. Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you spot it? That means it's gonna be coming over here. Well, we'll catch it later. We'll catch it later. Anyway, there's a couple things I have to do. So I'm thinking about EPCOT. I'm thinking about how I have to leave. I have to go home and do all kinds of wonderful things. The cool thing is that a friend of mine paid for the flight out here. Another friend of mine paid for the room out here. So even though I didn't film as much as maybe I could have had the weather been like super perfect and awesome, and I was sick like a bunch of days while I was here, I was really bummed and getting stressed, and I realized like the good thing is it didn't cost much this time, which means that there's more in the kitty for future adventures. We're actually gonna have a lot more adventures. Look at the Fountain of Nations there, awesome. When they opened this place up, they poured in all kinds of water from all these different countries from around the world. It was this really beautiful ceremony, but in later refurbishments, when they drained it and refilled it, they did not do that. I feel like they thought it was a little difficult to send more urns around the world to collect water. So I think it's just tap water in there now. All right, moving on. This, my friend, is club pool. You may have seen it before, but because it's my last day in EPCOT, I can't stop myself from coming inside and doing something I absolutely love. Look how crowded it is. Oh yeah, by the way, not only has it been really like awkward weather for Florida, normally it's very hot and humid, and even, I don't think I've ever been here when it's been cool or cold at all to any degree. Normally it's hot and humid here. Normally I'm sweating and I'm wearing shorts in Florida. This time not only am I wearing pants, I'm wearing thermals, I'm wearing all kinds of stuff. And by the way, everybody always makes fun of me. They're always like, oh, you say it's cold in California when it's 50 degrees or something like that. Or, well, in Minnesota it's -20, whatever. But the Floridians make me feel like an Eskimo, like an Inuit. Like I feel like the world's like, I'm like, oh cool, it's only 50 degrees. I'll put on my Under Armour and I'll feel strong and I'll be warm and I'll go outside. And the people who live here are like, oh my gosh, I need a parka. Okay, this is what I'm here for. Beverly. It's a bitter flavor, a popular non-alcoholic. Where is it? No, Beverly. No, Beverly. No, Beverly. How will I live? Okay, this Italian drink here is the most disgusting thing on planet Earth, and they have it in here. These are supposed to be different Coke flavors or Coke associated flavors from around the world, and Beverly is the nastiest thing on the planet. If you go back in these vlogs, you will see my kid, London, my little short round, my little junior, my mini me, drinking this stuff. I was so excited. He never drinks soda. I brought him here to drink it. You can go see what happens, but I was disappointed with the result. All right. This stuff is disgusting. It is nasty. I promise you, it is the worst thing in the world. I don't know why they drink this in Italy or who actually drinks it. People are like, oh no, I think you're supposed to put alcohol in it. But over here, the sign just says, Beverly, with its bitter flavor, is a popular non-alcoholic aperitif. What does that mean? That might solve the mystery. What's an aperitif? Like a thing that you stick in your mouth to like make yourself throw up? Because if that's what it is, it's doing its job. I can't visit EPCOT without doing this. Here we go. It's pretty bitter and gross. But it's not that bad at first. Oh, now it's bad. It has that after. Until it has that. Oh God. If I threw up on camera, that would be so gross. But I would totally keep it going just because I would have to. Okay. It has this totally horrible aftertaste. You can't stop it. It's the most nasty thing. It's just bitter, like really. Ugh. Really bitter. And the only thing that helps is this delicious nuclear green Fanta. Melon Frosty Fanta, which I still have not figured out how to order and have in my home. But here's the thing, I was really keen on this last time. And I was putting it out there in the vlogs and on Periscope and saying, I really want to have this, I really want to have this, I really want this stuff in real life, please ship it to me. But I kept coming into EPCOT and drinking it over and over and over and over and over. And then, this is a true story, and this is kind of gross, you might want to send the kids to the other room. Then I went pee, nuclear green. I promise you, true story. I mean, it wasn't this color, but it was close enough, and I knew it was from this. Like, I just came and kept drinking it so much. This stuff is dangerous. It's from Thailand. I don't know what the rules and restrictions are over there, but it's a... Careful. Nuclear green. You want your pee to look like this? If it gets rid of the taste of Beverly, I'll take it at any cost. what they get in EPCOT. There's all kinds of other sodas here, Inca Cola and Sparletta Berry and all kinds of things like from South Africa, Zimbabwe, Peru. This one I always think says Bilbo, but it says Bebo. I'm gonna drink one more thing. I'm gonna risk the health concerns of this, and then I'm gonna move on. Okay, true story. They have one of these in Las Vegas, and they have another one in Atlanta that I haven't been to, at the Coke headquarters, where, this is Club Cool, by the way, I think I already said that, where you can get the flavors around the world thing, different Cokes from all over the planet, or different Coke affiliated products, really. Fantas and wonderful things. They have one in Las Vegas, and a friend of mine was like, you gotta go to it. The same friend that brought me to Vegas, you gotta go to it, and I went out there, and they just like had closed it down. They didn't want any filming in there because there was some crazy hip hop show next door and I couldn't do it. But this friend of mine went there because he had never tried the Beverly at EPCOT. He was watching, I don't know if he was watching my videos from here or whoever's videos. He was watching videos of people drinking the stuff at EPCOT and having the Beverly and tasting that bitter flavor. And he's like, man, you know, I feel like my life isn't complete. I haven't had the Beverly at EPCOT. So he goes down to the Coke thing in Vegas and he's like, I didn't have the Beverly. Can I just try the Beverly? Expecting one of those little shot, well, the Beverly is still there, even though the other soda's there, it's still there. But expecting a little shot glass like that, and they gave him like a large Coke-sized Beverly, and he drank it. Blah. Then the other night when I came here, same friend was here, and he's in there going, all right, personal challenge. He just starts shooting it, like taking shots like a college girl taking tequila shots on spring break. Bam, 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 5 shots of Beverly. 5 cups of Beverly into his mouth. Oh, see, that's really, ugh. Into his mouth, into his body. Little sweat beating at the hairline, and I was like, dude, are you crazy? Are you okay? And he's like, oh, I'm fine. Whew. It's gross, but I did it. Personal challenge, nailed it. And then later on that night, it's like, oh, not feeling that great. I'm like, oh man, is the Beverly? Like, yeah. Or like, is it that bad? You feel like you're gonna throw up? And they're like, no, just a little twitching. So I think it's that bad. A lot of people disagree. Anyway, now I've spent way too much time on the Beverly. Over here, EPCOT, isn't it beautiful? The Spaceship Earth and these Communicore buildings, this, and on either side of these are massive pavilions. Over here, Imagination, the home of Figment, and of course the land and the sea, and pretty cool. One area, one direction we have not ventured in together very much is the east side of EPCOT over here. What would be the left brain, the more sciencey side. That's where Mission Space is and Test Track. But also this, inside those big Communicore style buildings that surround it. Man, I really wish there was a map close by to illustrate what I'm talking about, but it's fine. Is this mouse gear, gifts with real character. See what they did there? Gifts with real character. And right now, it's our shortcut to the other side of EPCOT. But look at the size of this place. Look at this massive gift shop. It's like a freaking Disney department store. It's so big. Kind of like World of Disney in California. That size in the theme park. It's so big, it's split up into sections like home decor. Oh my gosh, these are so cool. Look at that. Okay, don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. Home decor, souvenirs, a section called checkout. Maybe that's where they want you to check out some cool products with your wallet. Okay. So look at this. It's all divided up and it goes forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It's sort of like the Emporium in any of the Magic Kingdom style theme parks where it's supposed to have all the different stuff from around the park, but there's all these weird subsections and it's all like 90s pop cartoon industrial theme. Like this is what I imagine a factory would look like in Duckburg in DuckTales. You know what I'm saying? In DuckTales, this is what their factories look like. No one understands how they work, not even the characters in DuckTales, but this is what they look like. Pretty cool. Mouse Gears. I know you were thinking, what's the name of that place again? Mouse Gears. And look at that. There's all kinds of like, speaking of DuckTales, look at that. There's Donald and Huey and Dewey and Louie and... What the heck is the little girl's name? Webby? Is it Webby? It's Webby. It's Webby. Wow, look at this. EPCOT Center toothpick holders. And look at that. Figment and with the t-shirt. Okay. Cool it, Justin. Do not get distracted. Aw, but look at that's so cute. Look at that. Okay, stop it. Stop looking at the wonderful products. How do I escape? Where's my door? Where's my exit? Oh, but look at this, a Mickey Mouse bag. Hiya, pal. give me your money and I'll give it back to you. For once. I mean, hey, just kidding. All right, look at this. Look at this cute Donald. Boing, boing, boing. What is that for? Why does he look like that? Donald. This is what my legs look like. I think that's a little backwards. Are they stretchy? Are they stretchy legs? I can't tell. I only have one hand, but these are, okay, I'm distracted by the products. Outside. So anyway, I'm doing the whole EPCOT thing, so I'm going home, and I hate leaving, but I have to. EPCOT's getting ready for the Flower and Garden Festival. Just like Food and Wine when we were here last time, they have these big festivals here at EPCOT where they'll put up all these booths and do all this crazy stuff and basically have like giant conventions. So they have Food and Wine where there's food and wine from all over the world set around the World Showcase here at EPCOT. They do this whole big thing. Then they also have a giant flower and garden show which is coming up. So they're doing all this cool crazy landscaping and doing futuristic landscaping and topiaries and putting a playground right there and doing all kinds of stuff. And so all these little floral walls have started to go up. What's interesting is in Disneyland we have all these movable kind of like wood fences to block people off from seeing the construction or whatever's going on. Here at EPCOT and other places at Walt Disney World, but I mostly noticed this at EPCOT, they've got these carts on wheels that are growing squared off hedges. And so they put actual hedges around to block off the construction. I find this to be very pleasing. Like, what a nice aesthetic. It's very pleasing. Okay, over here is the cool zone. We looked at that the other day when we were here talking. And then you have this. Look how big EPCOT is. We're still in Future World, the front part of EPCOT with all the pavilions and a lot of the rides. Over here is Test Track. I think I did a vlog on there where I actually rode it. Test Track over there, sponsored by Chevrolet, which is basically like a Tron / Science-y version of Radiator Springs Racers in California, if you're familiar with DCA. And then beyond that, Mission Space. And over there is the old Wonders of Life Pavilion, now completely empty. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird hanging out over here. And I'm got quiet and I'm feeling weird because there's a whole line of people that all looked like they were waiting for the restroom. Like, see the restroom back there? And see how there's this whole line of people? And as soon as I came around the corner, you couldn't see, they all looked at me. So my first instinct was to kind of flip the camera around and go, haha, I'm looking back. But then I thought, no, let's just see. Then they were all just not waiting for the restroom. I think they're just hanging out there. Weird. Anyway, Intervention's back there, Spaceship Earth back there. And then, like I said, Test Track, presented by Chevrolet. And that sound you hear is the sound of those cars, which are basically like giant slot cars with real tires and everything, zooming around this track here. It's the longest attraction, I believe, at Walt Disney World. I'm not sure about longest, but it is fast. It goes up to 65, 70 miles per hour. These cars go around here. So there's this whole indoor portion like Radiator Springs Racers where it kind of looks like Tron in there. And the idea is that you design in a computer your test vehicle and then you race it around. It's pretty cool. So that's the fastest attraction at Walt Disney World. They always say, people always say the fastest attraction at Disneyland is the monorail because supposedly our new monorails can top out at 70 miles an hour. I don't know if that's true, but Test Track here is definitely going 65 or 70 because when you're on the ride, they actually clock you and you can see it. Okay, so yesterday I was here at EPCOT and it was an interesting situation because the person I was talking about earlier who paid for the room and brought me out here because they had a whole series of rooms and stuff, their big group of people bought themselves a guided tour, aka hired a plaid. There are guest services people here who wear plaid vests. They have them in Disneyland too. And they walk around with like the celebrities and the dignitaries, and they cost, I think, a pretty penny. I think it's like $2,000 or $3,000, and you get like a group. You can have a group of like 10 people, and they're basically a human fast pass. So when you walk up to this, you go in the fast pass line, or when you walk up to an exit, or you go up the exit, there's no fast pass line or whatever. And the reason they do that is because like if you had Michael Jackson here or something like that, you couldn't stick him in line with normal people. They would freak out. Mostly because he's dead and I need to think of better examples of famous people. I really need to update my famous people list. Okay, I got a good one. A good modern famous person. If Danny DeVito was here, he would need someone to keep him out of the regular line and either go up fast pass or go up the exit and get on the ride quickly. And so they hire these people that we call, most of us call, the plaids. So they had a plaid yesterday and it was pretty cool because it was like having a fast pass to every ride. So this giant group of 10, I think there were 9 or 10 of us, bam, 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 fast pass on every ride. But the really cool thing is, it probably takes 20 or 30 minutes to get between every ride. I'm extremely bored by this, but all my Disneyland friends really are always asking these questions, so I'm trying to answer as many questions that I can think of in this vlog. It takes like 20 or 30 minutes to get between any park on the best of days. In the best of situations, it's like, okay, get there on the monorail. You can take the monorail from EPCOT to Magic Kingdom, or you can drive over there and you have to park again. Then you have to take a monorail or a ferry. When you hire a Plaid here, unlike Disneyland where it's basically just a free fast pass to get on all the different rides, and maybe there's one or two other perks, you know, that you have a guide with you who can say all this different stuff. If you need a restaurant reservation, he'll go run and do it instead of you having to do it. He'll guide your big group around, blah, blah, blah. Well, here, the major benefit is they actually will take you backstage, put you in a van, and drive you to the other parks. So once you're here, we were here at Test Track, you go out backstage into a van, and then, well, we're gonna go to Magic Kingdom next. They'll drive you over to Magic Kingdom, park behind Space Mountain, and bam, you're in the park in like maybe 10 minutes. Bang, you're from one park to another. Here, they'll drive you from the back of Test Track. Say you wanna ride Test Track, you pop out, you go on Test Track, and then you can get back in the van. They'll drive you all the way around the other side backstage, and you get out of the van and you basically whoop, walk right on Figment or Journey to Imagination with Figment. Bam! So it was pretty crazy. So all these people are asking me like, what was that like? That was so cool. Because I mentioned that it happened yesterday. I feel like, and I was telling Adam the Woo this yesterday, I feel like if you're in the parks as much as we are, it's not worth the money. And here's why. Here's why I say that. Because if you're in the parks a lot, if you're a Disneyland annual pass holder or something like that, or Walt Disney World annual pass holder, and you come to the parks quite a bit, and you've been on every ride, you're basically going to pay quite a lot of money for a fast pass. So if you have a huge group, you can split up the cost or something like that. It might be worth it to you if you have people who have never been before. But otherwise, I really don't know that it's worth the money. Now, having said that, if you're not used to it, and let's say you had the money and you had a group of people, 5 to 10 people, and you were like, I really want to do all the major stuff at Walt Disney World, but I have 2 or 3 days. If you have the money, I kind of feel like at that point, it's super worth it, because the guy can answer all your questions. And they're obviously really familiar with the parks because they lead celebrities and dignitaries and all these people around, and they know all this crazy stuff. You get to go backstage a little bit and see how it works, and they describe to you like, oh, here's the power plant, here's how we make the electricity and all this different stuff. So I think it would be worth it if you had the money. Otherwise, I think I would just come as a normal guest. Me personally, I don't think I would do it. I would just come as a normal guest and then buy the guided tours where they do the tours like behind the scenes. And here they have behind the scenes tours at EPCOT, and they have behind the scenes tours at Magic Kingdom. So I think I would just do that personally. So people keep asking, do you think it's worth the money? Would you recommend I do it? And I'm like, I mean, if you got buku bucks, if you're pulling down good money and you can afford to spend 2 or 3 grand per day, maybe do it one day. But I honestly think the money would be better spent somewhere else, unless either you're A, really famous, so you need that kind of private tour through the parks, or you have a big group, you want to splurge, and you want to do one day where you get on all the major rides and get all the memories. I think I would do it. Okay, this is the Wonders of Life Pavilion. Totally empty now. Nothing really in there. They open it up for food and wine though, and flower and garden. They'll use it as like the festival centers for that. So we have some pictures on that on Instagram, looking way back. Live Fast I Pours. And Snapchat, Live Fast I Pour. And Justin's card on Twitter. I am really tired. I'm getting sad in my heart because I'm leaving. But this used to be a whole pavilion with like Body Wars, this Star Tours style thing where like you get on and you go inside the human body, and then a video about human reproduction and all this stuff. And now it just sits there, empty, with one of these little Jabba the Hutt looking speakers. Weird! Right in front of it. Anyway, I know I'm not super hyper because I just woke up, because yesterday was like a full-on day doing all that plaid stuff. And I'm trying to wrap my mind around leaving, so I'm thinking about all the souvenirs that I need to buy. I need to fulfill my promise to my child and bring him back an EPCOT monorail, or a Walt Disney World monorail. This over here is the Universe of Energy, by the way, where you board these massive, oh, there we go, that's what I was waiting for. You board these massive, oh gosh, look at that thing. Mark IV monorails. Designed by Bob Gurr. Oh, we're supposed to hopefully meet up with Bob Gurr when I go back home. We'll see. Bob Gurr designed those monorails, and they're still running here. They're totally, completely different than the Disneyland monorails. They're bigger, wider, they fit way more people. They're like Mack trucks, and they just cruise around, taking people all over. They're very, very practical, unlike ours, which is more of a ride. Okay, Universe of Energy. Giant, 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 giant. Picture like 5 times, 6 times the Small World boats. Huge ride vehicles that go and move from room to room where you basically watch movies of Ellen DeGeneres and Bill Nye talk about energy and green energy and solutions for the future for 45 minutes. And there's a little part with animatronic dinosaurs. That is my best description of this ride. It's a little bit of a sleeper. It's a little bit of a snooze festival. But I heard a rumor, and EPCOT nerds can tell me if this is true or not, that the reason why it takes so long is those vehicles are battery operated, and so it takes like 20 minutes or whatever it is while you're watching the movies to charge them back up to move through the dinosaur scene. So I'm like, huh, that's an interesting one. Maybe they should plug them in and go faster. I don't know. Anyway, that's not my favorite thing at EPCOT. I don't think it's anyone's favorite thing, but it is very interesting, very educational, and very cool. It probably needs an update. There used to be an animatronic Ellen DeGeneres in there, which is why I was super excited to go in there. I was like, that has to be weird. I have to see that. But I don't think it's there any longer. It definitely wasn't there last time I was here, but who knows? Maybe Ellen DeGeneres' animatronic version of herself is undergoing some kind of maintenance or something like that. So anyway, I'm walking around EPCOT. I know a little anticlimactic in terms of we're just walking around looking at scenery and having a chat, but I miss all you guys. I have a lot of stuff to do before I go home, and I was mostly here to get those Random Land videos, which I did. So now I'm gonna wander around in the wind, try to get as many pictures as I can, and shove as many memories down my throat. Do you guys ever do the shoe thing? I'm still freaking out about the shoe thing. Just putting my foot in the shoe, and then it's like, that's not time to put your foot in the shoe yet. And then running around doing things, and then putting my jacket on, and putting my foot in my shoe. I don't have any pants on. What's my problem? Anyway, all right. I'm done squinting in the Florida sunshine. My lips are chapped. I've been sick, so I don't have my normal energy. I'm excited to go home and rest, but I will miss this place. I do love it with all of my heart. And that's it. That's about it. EPCOT, Walt Disney World, just a little walkabout. What? I couldn't let him beat me. This may be the worst decision I've ever made in my life, but here we go. Oh my gosh. I thought about it. The aftertaste hasn't hit me yet. 3. Oh. I can do it. 4. Oh. It's Beverly. It's Beverly. Oh. 5. 5. Cut. Luckily, I was prepared for this situation. I don't even have room for the green stuff. Dude, this is so bad. It's like in the back of your throat. Have you ever like, I can't talk about it. You ever like brushing your teeth or your tongue or something and you stick the toothbrush and it hits the roof of your mouth and you get, I did it. You know who you are out there. I matched you blow for blow. The next move is yours. Boy, I should schedule a checkup with the doctor after this, because if I have to give him a urine sample, it's really gonna freak him out. Anyway, subscribe for some more. TheFastLifePort.Spreadshirt.com. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.